The music was already thundering down the street before she even turned the corner, every beat echoing like a reminder of where she did not belong. The glow of fairy lights and the sound of laughter spilled into the night air, and for a moment, she slowed her steps just to listen. Inside that house, everyone her age was dancing, smiling, taking pictures they'd remember forever. And outside, just a few feet away but feeling like 1,000 miles, was her. Forgotten. Uninvited. And painfully aware that she didn't matter enough to be included. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small actions to change someone's life, please take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to I Am Kindness Corner. It helps stories like this reach more hearts around the world. Her name was Emily, a girl with a heart far too tender for the world she was growing up in. She wasn't the kind of person who stood out in a crowd, no dazzling clothes, no witty comebacks, no perfect pictures on social media. She was the kind of girl who quietly held the door open for everyone, who remembered birthdays even when others forgot hers, who listened when no one else bothered. And yet, in the cruel mathematics of teenage popularity, those qualities rarely added up to belonging. That night, Emily had scrolled through her phone, her stomach twisting as one photo after another appeared. Friends, or people she had once thought were friends, were posting selfies in glittery dresses, arms wrapped around each other, captions screaming about the biggest night of the year. It was a birthday party everyone was talking about, a celebration that seemed to pull the entire school into its orbit. Everyone but her. She sat on her bed for hours, staring at her phone screen until her eyes blurred. The clock ticked louder with every minute, making the silence in her room unbearable. The loneliness felt heavy, pressing down on her chest, suffocating. She wanted so badly to believe it didn't matter, that it was just one party, that she could ignore it. But deep down, she knew it wasn't about the party, it was about what it meant. She wasn't chosen. She wasn't wanted. She wasn't worth a thought. By 10 o'clock, Emily decided she couldn't stand being inside anymore. She slipped on her worn sneakers and went for a walk, trying to escape the four walls that seemed to mock her with their silence. That was when she heard it, the music, the laughter, the proof of everything she was missing. She stood for a while across the street, hidden in the shadows, watching silhouettes dance in the golden light of the windows. It was like staring at a world she could never touch. Emily didn't cry. She just turned and walked away, deeper into the quiet streets, clutching her phone like it was a lifeline. But as she walked, she didn't know that someone else had noticed. Just a few blocks away, there was another girl, Maya, who had been invited but hadn't stayed long. She wasn't like the rest of the crowd either. She liked music and laughter, but she also noticed when people were missing. She had looked around that party, scanning the faces, and realized someone important wasn't there. Emily. Maya remembered how Emily once helped her when she had dropped her books in the rain, how she had sat with her in the library when everyone else ignored her. She remembered the little things, the quiet kindnesses that often went unnoticed. And something inside her ached at the thought of Emily spending this night alone while everyone else celebrated. Instead of going back inside to the noise and flashing lights, Maya left. She stopped by a corner store, picking up a few bags of chips, a bottle of soda, and the cheapest cupcake she could find. She didn't know exactly what she was going to do, but she knew one thing for sure, Emily wasn't going to be forgotten tonight. Back in her room, Emily sat curled on her bed again, headphones in but no music playing, just trying to block out the sound of her thoughts. When there was a knock on her window, she froze. Carefully, she pulled back the curtain, and there was Maya, grinning, holding up the little cupcake with a single candle poking out of the frosting. Emily opened the window in shock, and Maya climbed inside, dropping the snacks on the bed. "If they won't invite you," Maya said softly, "then I'm bringing the party here." It wasn't grand. There were no fairy lights, no booming speakers, no sea of people taking selfies. But as Maya lit the candle and the two of them laughed over soda and chips, Emily felt something she hadn't all night seen. Chosen. Worthy. The two girls sat on the floor, talking for hours. They shared stories, secrets, even their fears, and every word felt like a spark that pushed back the darkness Emily had been drowning in. It wasn't about how many people were there, it was about who was there. One friend who truly cared was worth more than 100 who didn't. The night stretched on, and at one point, Maya pulled out her phone, queuing up a playlist. They danced, clumsy and unpolished, in the middle of Emily's small room. The laughter they shared echoed louder than the music down the street. And for the first time in a long time, Emily's heart felt light. She realized something important that night: belonging doesn't come from being invited to every party or being accepted by every crowd. It comes from finding the people who see you, who value you, who show up when it matters most. The memory of being left out still stung, but it no longer defined her. Because when she looked at Maya, sitting cross-legged on the floor, laughing with chipped crumbs on her shirt, she knew she wasn't alone. She never really had been, she had just been waiting for the right person to remind her. As dawn painted the sky with shades of pink, Emily and Maya sat by the window, sipping the last of the soda. Emily whispered a quiet thank you, but Maya shook her head. "Don't thank me," she said. "Thank yourself. You've always been the kind of person worth showing up for." And maybe that was the lesson hidden inside all the hurt, that sometimes, the world will forget you, but the right people never will. If this story touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to I Am Kindness Corner. It helps us spread stories that remind the world that kindness still exists. And before you go, I have a special request: drop a comment below and tell us about a time when someone showed up for you when you needed it most. Your story might inspire someone else who feels alone tonight. Because sometimes, the smallest act of kindness isn't just a moment, it's a lifeline.